Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, Manzai-style comedy routines, main characters who suffer from stage fright, excellent art, and manga news. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Episode 517. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing well out there in internet land. Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast that you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPRAKN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell for notification to hear our latest episodes. Hope you're doing well and hope you're excited for another awesome podcast because I'm really excited. And also, I'm in a great mood because this weekend I'm going to my first convention in a while, and that is Animazement. And this time, I'm not going as a panelist. I'm going as I'm going as press. So that should be a little bit fun. I'm excited to see what happens there and what is going on. But I digress because you're not here to listen to me ramble about that. You're here to listen to me talk about manga. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it. Because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it did turn to be the reviewing a manga. Well, that was written by Akinari Asakura. And published by Shueisha, meaning it's brought over here by Viz Media. Actually, it is technically a member of Shonen Jump. It was released in Shonen Jump for a while. It is originally came out in 2021. It is still coming out now. It was released in Comic Jump, Comic SQ, which is the more advanced version of Shonen Jump. So if you're past Shonen Jump, you go to Jump Comics. There are currently 5 volumes. It is a shonen series, obviously, and it is a owari, which means it is more of a comedy series, dealing with like the more show-type comedy, or Manzai, and it is a slice of life series. And, as you could probably guess, the title of it is Shoha Shoten. And Shoha Shoten is a unique story in of itself because it doesn't deal with weird things. This actually deals with a young man who wants to become a comedian, specifically in the Manzai style. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what Manzai is, well, Manzai is kind of weird. It is a style of art that it's usually it's comedy where you have 2 people involved, who one of them is a straight man, and the other one is the weird, wacky friend, and it's a traditional style of comedy in Japan. And it's a double act. So you have the 2 performers who one is the Tssukomi, or the straight man, and the Boki, or the funny man. And the Boki is the weirdo who just, well, let's be honest, he is completely out of his mind. And it's usually generally all the jokes are mutual misunderstandings, double puns, so on and so forth. And this is the story of a young man who, well, the reason why he wants to become a comedian is because when he was a young boy, just leaving junior high, his high school crush, Misuo, asked him to make her laugh, and he couldn't do it. And he's like, I'm sorry, well, I'm moving away because my mom's leaving my dad, and I'm moving to the other side of the country, so try and make me laugh so I can forget about these problems, and he couldn't. And because of that, he wants to make people laugh, and eventually one day he'll see her again and make her laugh. That's his goal in life. And what he does is, he's super shy, but he releases all these comedy jokes on radio stations. And he uses his pseudonym, which is Everyday Shijimi. But his real name is Asamichi Shijimi. So everyone's like, oh, who's this Everyday Shijimi? He's genius. He makes all these great puns and says all these wonderful jokes which make amazing sense. Like one of them is, I taught my friend's parrot a bunch of dirty words in Spanish. And that's why you got sentenced to an hour and a half of community service. It's all these weird jokes which kind of make sense if it's in Japanese, but in English it does not translate 100%. However, that is the story. He wants to become a comedian, but he's too afraid to go out there and become a comedian. And so he's just very shy and doesn't get involved until one day when he's forced to search out a kid for a class assignment. It turns out that he's part of the student government, and there's a talent show coming on, and one of the papers wasn't completely filled out, so they said, listen, can you go talk to this guy, Tayo? Tayo, he's kind of crazy. We want to know what he's doing. He didn't fill out everything, so please take care of this. So he does, and he finds this lunatic who is completely just crazy and silly. Like when he first meets him, Taiyo Higashikata is wearing a funny outfit. He's like, what the hell is this? This looks ridiculous. Who are you? It turns out that this guy is someone who wants to become a comedian because he was part of a comedy duo and he wants to be the best comedian ever, and he wants to do two things. He wants to be the first person to win the Wara 1 Grand Prix, which is a competition for Manzai duos, and he wants to win the Ultimate Comedy Battle, which is a sketch comedy competition. The reason for this was his last comedy duo partner, Sakutaro Kunagi, died from a disease before he could see this happen, so he's carrying on his friend's future wishes. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to be the best, and he figures out that Asamichi is everyday Shijimi, so why don't you join me and we'll become a great comedy duo? And after some cajoling and talking and conniving, eventually they become a comedy duo. And this series is about them trying to become the best they could be. And it's that shonen element of, okay, the team has come together, they're going to fight and do battles and win the day. They're going to go from competition to competition and kick butt. That's what this is about. However, the competitions are unusual because they are comedy acts. And it shows the difference in styles because Taiyo is someone who can think on the fly. You give him a concept, he'll figure it out immediately. Meanwhile, Shijimi is the person who comes up with the concept. He's like, okay, here's how the sketch is going to work. Point A, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. And it works together in tandem. So one is really good at improv, one is good at the setup. So combining them, it comes out brilliantly. And their comedy act is unique and different and also really, really weird. There's other comedian acts, including this one group called Spiraken, who was the original super amazing group. Then there's a new group called Rising, who's obviously their comedy duo. And, I forgot to say, their comedy duo's name is One Way Ticket to the Top. That's what they call their gag group. And what can I say about this? It is different. And the art is amazing in this story. It's well drawn, the characters are well composed, and it makes you want to really love these characters. It makes you want to really find out more about them, especially when you find out more about their backstories. Like, we know that originally Taiyo was a drama actor, and his reason for wanting to make people laugh, not just for the dream of his friend, but because it's the only way he's ever seen his mother smile, because his mother is a hard ass, and the only time she's ever laughed is at a joke, so he decides he's going to make everyone laugh, because the power of comedy can bring people joy. And that story arc is really intriguing and it's engaging. And then you have the whole thing of Shijimi trying to find the love of his life and becoming popular by doing this. And that is a great story arc as well. Then you have their senpai who's trying to be their biggest fan and also their manager, Akane Hanamori, and her whole story arc, which is really compelling. However, let's get to it. Manzai is a niche art that unfortunately is one that you really can't quantify in English. Some of the concepts make sense, but for a comedy manga, it's not... I don't think it translates well. I mean, some of the concepts work really well, but like the first setup they have, and this is slight spoilers for the first volume, their first competition, the joke they set up with is, okay, he walks into class, it's a teacher to a student, and the whole joke is the teacher goes more and more crazy, and all the straight man, the Tssukomi says is, Sensei! Sensei! And it's like, this the joke doesn't really run well. Their second joke, which is a little bit later on and technically goes into volume 2, is a joke where it's someone goes to a petting zoo and gets attacked by the animals every single time. It's stupid and really dumb. But the whole concept is if you do something so stupid, eventually people will find it funny. It's if it doesn't make you laugh, you keep throwing it at you and it will make you laugh eventually. And sometimes that really works. Other times, not so much. This time it got me a chuckle, but for a manga about comedy, this is not one that I would be like, yeah, this is the best one ever. I don't know. It's one of those ones I wanted to champion and think it is great because it's a Shonen Jump story that is doing something different. And I don't know. I'm conflicted about this. I really am, because on the one hand, the art is great, the characters are great, the concept is great, but then the execution fails really bad. And there's some really great moments in it. And some, like when he has to, in order to become a comedian, he has to get his family to love his comedy style. He says, if I can make all three of you laugh, you'll let me become a comedian. And so what they do is he has to curtail a joke for each one of them to make them laugh because of stupid things. And the concept's there. It's brilliant. Just the translation doesn't hit. I think this would be funnier as an anime or a live action than a manga. But that's my feelings about it. And I was going back and forth on what it could be. Is this going to be really amazing? Is it going to be really rough? Is it going to be okay or terrible? And to be honest, I have to give this our middle of the ground rating of A Gift from Your Crazy Aunt Muriel. It's okay, but it's forgettable. I mean, I don't want to pursue this more. I would love this to be like, yes, I have to read this because it makes me laugh. Like, Cromartie High School is stupid. It is totally stupid. But it's that stupidity that makes you love it. It's that weird, that just makes you giggle stupidly. Same thing with Crayon Shin-chan. It's dumb potty humor, but it's fun. It does make you giggle and laugh. This is like watching someone try to do stand-up too hard. They're trying too hard. Stand-up, or comedy, it's subjective, but sometimes it's just like, there's highbrow, lowbrow, and this is something in the middle where it's like, it's going to hit a niche audience that's going to love it, but then for everyone above it and below it, they're going to either find it too pretentious or it's just going to be too non-understandable. And that's the big issue. I want to like this, I really do, but I just wasn't really clicking with me. But if it was clicking with you, let me know. Email me, tell me your thoughts if I missed something about this, if I can translate it. And if you want to, just message me, like I said, at Xan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com. Let me know your thoughts on if this was amazing or it was garbage or if I was completely off the mark on it. But that's my thoughts on Shoten. And, so with that, let's actually get to the manga releases of the week. And these are what came out yesterday. And I'm kind of excited to see what we're going to talk about this week. So let's get to it. So, starting off for this week, which was May 22nd, we have Oshinoko Volume 2, followed by A Business Proposal Volume 1, A Sign of Affection Volume 6, Aya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian Volume 3, As a Reincarnated Aristocrat, I'll Use My Appraisal Skills to Raise in the World Volume 5, Associate Professor Akira Takutsuki's Conjecture, Volume 1, the light novel. Bakano, Volume 22, the light novel. Beauty and the Feast, Volume 8. Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, So I'll Max Out My Defense, Volume 6, the manga. And Volume 9 of the light novel. Bungo Stray Dogs, Dead Apple, Volume 3. Chitose is in the Ramune Bottle, Volume 3. Classroom of the Elite, Volume 6, Daughter of the Emperor, Volume 4, Delicious in Dungeon, Volume 12. Also, fun fact, this is getting an anime adaptation. I'm so excited to see this get an adaptation. But anyway, I digress. We have Elden Ring, The Road to the Eld Tree, Volume 1, Iro Ninja Scroll, Volume 5, Even Dogs Go to Other Worlds, Life in Another World, My Beloved Hound, Volume 1, For the Kid I Saw in My Dream, Volume 10. Gabrielle Dropout, Volume 12. Hazure Skill, the guild member with the worthless skill is actually a legendary assassin, Volume 5 of the light novel. Hell Mode, Volume 1. Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crest Wants Me to Make a Love Potion, Volume 2. High School DxD, Volume 11 of the light novel. High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Volume 8. Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 2. Horimiya, Volume 16. How a Realistic Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, Light Novel, Volume 16. How to Win Her Heart on the Nth Try, the manga. Hunting in Another World with My Elf Wife, the manga, Volume 3. I Cannot Reach You, Volume 6. I Kept Pressing the 100 million yen button and came out on top, Volume 5, the light novel. I'm the Cat Lord's Manservant, Volume 4. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 5, Golden Wind, Volume 8. Kakiguri, Compulsive Gambler, Volume 16. Lazy Dungeon Master, Volume 4. Magical Girl Incident, Volume 1. Maiden of the Needle, Volume 1, the light novel. Manor of Death, Volume 1. Me and My Beast Boss, Volume 1. Miss Maya-zen Would Love to Get Closer to You, Volume 4. Monster Guild, The Dark Lord's No Good Comeback, Volume 5. Murcielago, Volume 21. My Dear Curse-Casting Vampiress, Volume 1. My Instant Death ability is so overpowered no one in the other world stands a chance against me, Volume 1, the light novel. My Summoned Beast is Dead, Volume 1, the light novel. Overlord, Volume 17, the manga. Reborn as a Barrier Master, the manga, Volume 4. Reign of the Seven Spellblades, Volume 8, the light novel. Sasuke and Miyano, Volume 8. Sasuke and Peeps, Volume 2 of the manga and Volume 4 of the light novel. Spy Classroom, Volume 3 of the manga and Volume 5 of the light novel. Star Wars, The High Republic, The Edge of Balance, Precedence. The Case Study of Vanitas, Volume 9. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villain is Volume 7. The Dragon King's Imperial Wrath, Falling in Love with the Bookish Princess of the Rat Clan, Volume 1. The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, Volume 4. The Girl I Saved on the Train Turned Out to Be My Childhood Friend, Volume 3. The Maid I Hired Recently is Mysterious, Volume 5. The Other World's Book Depends on the Bean Counter, Volume 3. The Saga of Tanya the Evil, Volume 12, the light novel. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 12. The Tale of the Outcast, Volume 7. The White Cat's Revenge is Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap, Volume 4. The World's Fastest Level Up light novel, Volume 3. The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat, Volume 5 of the manga. To Save the World, Can You Wake Up the Morning After with a Demi-Human, Volume 6. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun's First Stall. This is the first 10 volumes in a toilet stall-shaped box, which is a pretty good box set. You have Topu GP, Volume 11. Tsugumi Project, Volume 1. Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 3. What This World Is Made Of, Volume 1. Wisteria Wanded Sword, Volume 4. World's End Harem, Fantastia Academy, Volume 3. Yakuza Fiancé, Rise wa Tanin ga Lee, Volume 3. Yokohama Kadaishi Kiko Deluxe Edition 2. Yokohama Station SF1. And then last and certainly not least, we have Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games, Volume 5. And those are the manga releases for this week, and I've got to admit, we've had some crazy titles so far, and some amazing ones, but more importantly than that, we've had some that are really weird, really crazy, and nuts. And so for me, here are my top 5 manga of the week. The ones that were released this week that gave me the most inspiration and made me want to know the most about them were, at number 5, or number 1, because there's no real order to them, because I went in chronological order like a lunatic. It's going to be Baccano, Volume 22, the light novel. This is the second to last volume of the series. We have Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 2. We have How a Realistic Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, Volume 16. Hunting in Another World with My Elf Wife, Volume 3. And then Yokohama Kadaishi Kiko, Volume 2. So which are the mangas that you are most excited about? Let me know. email me at zanspiraken.com, tweet me at Spiraken, and let me know which one you think is the best title from this week. Which one is the one that you want to buy, or which is the one that you think is overrated and horrible? Let me know. So, before we go any further, let me first off say thank each and every one of you for checking out our podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every email I get, every comment I get gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. And I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing this till I'm an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses and a magnifying glass and read in large print. So thank you so much. I think you're all awesome. And to all my Patreon members, you guys are great. And if you enjoy what you hear and you'd like to help us create more fun content for you to enjoy, join our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken to help us create more fun content for you to enjoy. We have 4 tiers, and each one has different rewards for the members, so check it out, definitely. And before I forget, as I was saying at the beginning of the episode, I am going to Animazement this week. So if you want to check me out, I'll be going to a bunch of various different events, and some that are really cool and some that are crazy. I think the one I'm most excited to check out is any of the panels by the original creators of Animerica. They're both going to be there, and I am excited to see how that goes. So, anyway, I'll let you know how that goes this weekend. And I think that's it for this episode. So, with that in mind... So, it's time for that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, except in this episode. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots, and I've written on the Wheel of Manga. So after I spin it, whatever number it lands on the manga that is in that spot is the one we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 518. Can you believe it? 518 episodes. Kind of crazy. But let's find out what we're going to do, shall we? Because we got some great titles on here. Number 9, A Story of 7 Lives, a story of a bunch of cats. It's a complete manga collection. I actually have it right here. I just picked it up, ironically. And I'm excited to see what we're going to review in the next episode, because that's crazy. We're going to be doing an anthology about cats. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. As usual, I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzo. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.